It's December 23rd, 2011. I have been listening to quite a few of the lectures of John David Ebert again, and while I have it fresh in my mind, I was listening to one lecture on Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces, and he does an introduction there, and in the introduction he explains Campbell's perspectives on three major archetypal figures for the world. Actually, he speaks of four, but I group the Eastern together. The three are, well, in the East, it's the Buddha and the Lao Tzu wandering sage. And I group these two together very generally as the yogi. And as he explains in this, it is the Buddha, particularly, is world negating. And he mentions how the pictures and statues of the Buddha, their eyes are closed. And it's not a negative world negation so much as an inward turning, a going inward. And then he describes the Levant, which includes the three religious doctrines of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, as well as Zoroastrianism. And he gives the figure as Job. The archetypal figure is Job. And a friend of mine was mentioning Gnosticism and asking about Gnosticism today, and it triggered a memory of another one of John David Ebert's lectures or talks. I think it might have been in one of his interviews posted with Thomas, William Irwin Thomas, where ultimately the Christians require something to hate. There is an aspect of nature which is inherently fallen, in sin, devoid of God. And there is a necessity to fight against the dark element, the evil, the bad, the condemned, the exiled, that which is evil, and produce all of our efforts towards the light. And then the third archetypal figure is the Promethean, which includes obviously Greece, Rome, the Roman Empire, and Northern European, generally speaking. And he describes how Prometheus basically said, hey, I don't got a problem with giving the fire to humanity. Zeus doesn't, I don't really care about Zeus. And so it's basically taking matters into their own hands. And I was listening recently to one of his his most recent talk today, which he recites. He recounts a chapter in one of his books about the Beatles. And I was thinking, especially about what he had to say about a song, Norwegian Wood, on the Rubber Soul album. And I was listening to some AC/DC at home, and I thought of how these three archetypal figures, you know, they're different levels of experience. In another one of his talks, he mentions, it was in the Joseph Campbell lecture. He speaks of a Native American myth of the two brothers. And he talks of how these two brothers, one is basically slaying dragons outside, and one is slaying dragons within the mind.